Right then, another V8 Q7 video. Bit of a strange one this, because it's starting back in the car park, even though we've already had it in. So when it came in last time, we had a couple of issues. The ECU decided to die on us. It weren't a battery voltage issue, but the battery was dead. But anyway, save us messing about. We didn't really have time to work on it for another week, and James could have done week back for a few reasons. So we let him take it back, which meant he could test it in between us doing the work on it, because all we've done at the minute is put our remap on there. So it's a lot better than it was when I drove it. So what do you reckon, James, anyway?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it did go well beforehand. After the original map, it was good, but it seemed to, when you really give it some, it sort of held back a bit. But now, it's instantly there. The power's just, it's just a lot more refined. It seems a lot more refined.
Yeah, that's how I'd have said it felt. Well, sat on the EGT limiter before, so you get like a bit of a cut, then it'd come back, a bit of a cut, then it'd come back. Whereas now it's just power all the way to the top, and
exactly. So
yeah, so very happy. I've caught James out a little bit, getting to do his reaction video. He didn't want to be on camera, I don't think. I think he's on run from tax, man. But we're going to get it back in now, get the engine out, and then we'll run over all the other stuff that we're going to do with it, and in detail. But basically, I think your only prerequisites were you just want bigger turbos, because engine were coming out anyway to fix that seal.
Yeah. Well, it goes, but
you just want more.
You know, it's comfortable, but it doesn't bring you back in your seat. You know, it wants.
Yeah. You want it, rather than it just having the torque, you want to have the power at the top as well. And
yeah, let's take it to the max and see what we can do.
Yeah. And that blank check that you've writ, it's still blank.
Well, like I say, I'm a rough tax man, sorry.
Yeah. It's all going to be in a Q7.
Yeah, I'll send him here.
But yeah, it's been a pretty good job for us, really, because sort of we've not done a lot of these. We've sold a lot of parts to people, decats, all that sort of stuff, and tuned a lot of them. But most people are not at the point where the engine needs to come out. And because of the leaking seal, then why not go crazy? And it's the perfect job. James has not gave us an exact budget. He said, I've got this much, roughly, but let's just do what it needs. And I always say to people, we'll treat it like it's our job, and I'm tight. I don't like wasting money. I want it to be reliable. We're from Yorkshire. So we'll do it as good as we can without spending any unnecessary money, and just see what happens. We can't quote any figures until we've got them, but it'd be nice to be doing 600 horsepower or something like that if we could. But if we get past, what sort of figure you think, like past 500 would be where you want to be?
A bit of torque, really.
Yeah.
Get as high as possible.
And a big torque number.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see what we can do. See what this gearbox can take. But we're getting loads of people keep asking if the V12 gearbox will just bolt straight up. It won't. But maybe when we've got the engine out, we'll highlight that, because we've got one in workshop. We can have a look at it. So anyway, we'll get it in there and get cracking. So this is not straight after I said let's get it in workshop. It's a little bit after that. But anyway, forgetting about that, we've got most of the stuff laid out here. So these pipes are what we normally sell for these DPF removal pipes. I don't think these are going to go onto this car because it's already got some. They're horrible, but he wants to leave them on. These are the turbos. So these are actually V12 turbos. All of these V10, V12, V8s, they've all got these weird flow straightener things on the turbos. Don't know why. Ribbed for her pleasure inlets, which is good because you can't get to them, so they need to be ribbed. It'd be nice if they all were, to be fair, because that does slip off every now and again. Water cooled. Actuators are quite tightly tucked up on this one, and then this one it's not tucked up tightly. So they are a left and a right-handed turbo, pretty different in a lot of ways. Downpipe flange, same as what all the other ones have got, but then the inlet flange is where we're going to have some hassle, because this is going to have to, it's normally got like a sealing ring in here, which we've got these anyway, but we're going to have to get this to fit to where the V8 turbos go, which is a different shape. So we'll see what we can do when it's on, basically. So that's a pair of turbos, just leave them, they're just standard. See how we get on with them. Air filters, always put new air filters in. Oil filters there, wherever it is. Always put a new oil filter on. Fuel filter, just because. Taking the swirl flaps out, new inlet gaskets. They're the downpipe gasket. downpipe flanges. That's probably not right one, that I don't think they look right, but anyway, we'll figure that out. I think they're for this car, not for them turbos. Flywheel bolts we've got, so that's literally the only reason this engine's coming out, for that little seal. And there's a lot of stuff got to come off to get to that. And then just all this is various gaskets and stuff like that. I don't think we're going to need all of them. A couple of glow plugs are faulty, so it's getting some new glow plugs. Rocker gaskets, because they're leaking as well. So a lot of stuff to go on. Not a lot of money's worth of parts for how expensive this job's going to be. Oh, that's a fuel pump timing belt as well. Might as well do that while we've got it. And then that person over there, that's Paul. That's Paul. We'll put a before and after picture on. Anyway, we'll let Paul get cracking. We'll stop messing about. Hopefully next time I come there's an engine out and we're scratching his heads on fuel pump, turbo fitment, stuff like that. But yeah, a lot of work, but we've got a bit of practice on the V12. That came out relatively easily, but it were never going back in, so I don't know what got chopped that didn't need to be chopped. But anyway, we'll leave them to it. So the engine and the gearbox are out, subframe and arch liners and wheels are over there, so it looks a little bit tidier. Yeah, Paul started playing. We've not really got a plan for this other than let's try and get them to fit, but we've got to take this 1749, I think these are. I can't remember, you can't even see it, it's that dirty. But these are tiny anyway. They're doing all right at 400 horsepower. We've got to try and get that to fit in its place, which I think is easier said than done. I'm not sure if the other one will be easier. Paul's got it trying to get this to fit, because if you look, it needs to go like here. So we're going to have to do quite a bit of modding to get these to fit. Whether choosing the V12 turbo is the best idea, not sure. See what we can do, but if you see the size of these housings, that's no bigger than like a standard 1749 off like a PD 150. So you can't really get bigger wheels in them and do it decent. Turbine side's quite small as well, so we'll see what he gets done. We've got to split all this apart and get the rear main seal sorted, and there's loads of other little bits to do. The one thing I don't think I said about this has already got, you can't really see them much here, but this has got the Porsche intercoolers on. These are the aluminium ones, so they're better than the standard ones. But from the 4.2 KNs that we've used, they still get quite hot, so hopefully that's not going to be the limit. But you're pushing quite an high pressure ratio for a little turbo. This will not be running as extreme as what that is, even at the power we're wanting. So we'll see. But yeah, it's a big old lump. We're going to do a bit of measuring and a bit of checking while this is out as well, because this is quite an easy to source engine, and obviously it'd be absolutely mint if we can get some of these and get all the wiring looms stripped down and sell them with a manual or an automatic gearbox option to put into other stuff. So we'll see. Maybe we pie in the sky thinking that, but I'm sure there's a market for that sort of stuff, so we'll see. Yeah, we'll keep watching Paul doing what he's doing, and hopefully we can get this somewhere near pretty quickly and get it back in and get it tuned. last time we spoke, the lump were out, but we'd not really done much with it. So Paul's done everything on the top now, all the sort of deletes, removed everything we needed to get rid of, done the fuel pump, belt and all that sort of stuff. That's sorted. He's had the gearbox split apart and done the rear seal, which is what it originally booked him for. That's all sorted. These are all the bits that we've removed. That box is full of little bits that we've removed, but then this is the box. This is the main chunky bits, all the EGRs, swirl flat motors. That's to do with the breather system. We didn't need to remove that, but James wanted to put his own little breather setup on it rather than it going to both sides to the airboxes, so we're going to sort that out for him. All this is obviously, it were all redundant when the car came here, and these all tire wraps all tying it up, so while the engine's out, easy time to take all that out and dump it. So we're just waiting on getting the decat pipes made. While we've got it like this, we just need to test fit a few bits, but they're not going to be going on this, then we need to make some more downpipes. But that leads us on to the turbos. So if you look from here, you can probably see that they're both in different spots, just because Paul's had to put this, I don't know if you can see on the video that he's filmed earlier, but he was going up and down a million times to get the fitment perfect, because you've got a lot of stuff around here. We've got to be thinking about packaging for the downpipe stuff, and there's a big piece of the block sticking out as well. So we've got the jigs where we want them for the downpipe, for the adapter flange. We just need to wait for the flanges to come now, because we're just going to do like a thick adapter plate and shave them off at angles, but that won't work for that side, so we're going to have a plate with a bit of tubing. This side we're going to have to play about quite a bit and get it all sorted, but how it's going to work, it should be pretty much you bolt the adapter to the turbo and lift it up. And from speaking to Paul, don't quote us on this, but he reckons when we've done this as a kit, so to speak, he thinks you'll probably be able to do this by dropping all the subframe out of the way and just undoing everything, as long as no bolts get stuck, because everything come apart pretty good on this, but factoring an engine out job and it'll not hurt you too much. So we need to just adapt the turbos to go to the boost pipes, then we've got to make some tip pipes, we've got to make the oil lines and all that stuff. There's a lot of work in doing this. So, I've grown a lot older since the last part of this video. This car's been here far too long. I'm not going to blame James, I'm not going to blame us, there's something in between. We've just not had time to do it. The race cars have just been an absolute nightmare, and there's been a lot of jobs added onto this that have caused problems. We've got it on the ramp, 10 minutes work, take it off the ramp, get it on the ramp, 10 minutes work, get stuck, take it off. It's just been one of them sort of jobs. We tried putting the V12 ABS on there for James, that was his request. We didn't want to do it, didn't work. But anyway, the customer gets what the customer wants. We've tried, probably wasted 20 hours messing about with that, trying to code it in, get it working. It wouldn't happen, swapping sensors, everything. So if you've got a V8 and you want to put a V12 ABS pump on, don't bother, waste of time. But the V12 turbos are on there and they're working absolutely perfectly. Obviously, they're a lot bigger than the standard turbos. You're going from a 49mm wheel to a 60mm wheel and a much bigger turbine, bigger housings, everything. So it is a bit lazier, but when you're driving it, I think it's all right. It spools the turbos better than a 2 litre with a 20. So obviously it's going to do because it's a 4 litre, but in theory, a 4.2 with 2 turbos on the same size as a 2 litre with 1 turbo on should spool very similar, and it spools a little bit better, to be fair. It feels really nice at the low end. It's not dead and then comes on really strong. Really happy with it. So yeah, I think we're probably 200 hours working on this, and it's not 200 good hours, it's 200 bits and bats hours, which probably adds up to double that, if anybody knows when you're trying to get a job going, and away you go. But anyway, James has been charged inappropriately for that. We've made nothing on this job. If anything, we've lost money. But it was interesting for us to do it, but this has really got in the way of the V12 project. I've not said it to James, I don't want to upset him too much, and I don't want YouTube to hate him. But if we didn't have this, we'd have worked on V12. But once this is gone, this is the last of the sort of long-term-ish things that we've got going on. As soon as the race cars finish, V12 stuff. So look forward to that one. So yeah, we'll look at the figures first. So standard 332, can't remember whether this is a 325 or a 335, but anyway, it's there or thereabouts. 550 pounds-feet of torque. Nice spread, standard, really nice spread. More here, which is a bit odd. Usually you'd have everything here and it'd just drop off, but anyway. With our tune on there with standard turbos, 400 horsepower and just over 700 pounds of torque, which is pretty good. Really happy with that, and it did drive quite nice. James drove it and he liked it. And then with the big turbos, you can see we've lost a bit here, which is unfortunate, but when you've got this in sport and you put your foot down, it kicks down to probably 3 grand anyway. So, and the response is quite good. So we're now at probably 815, 820 pounds-feet of torque, which is ridiculous, and 513 horsepower, and it's still climbing to the end where it shifts. This gearbox, it's past the limit, to be fair. It's not broken, there's nothing damaged, but it does slip between gears. Whether that's going to make it last longer, I don't think so. It'd have been nice to tune it, but these are not very easy to get into. I'm sure somebody can tune them. If you can, let us know. But these have got like a separate module like the V10 TURBOS has, and that would mean loads of messing about, reverse engineering stuff. We ain't had time to do that. Even if we did, I don't think we'd probably get around to doing it on this anyway, in this time scale. But yeah, if we could, we'd rev this more. I'd rev it all the way to 5 probably, and it'd sound beautiful, which we'll see what it sounds like in the car, and Danny will put a clip on outside the car. But yeah, making tons of power. I think this engine, it's done a few miles, it's breathing a little bit heavy, so whether it's a bit tired or not, I'm not too sure. But yeah, really happy with the power output. It's a shame they didn't put this in something really light, like an A6 or something like that. If you can get them in A8s, but still a big thing in them. But yeah, really happy with power output. Let's go out and have a quick drive, because this video is getting on a bit, and it's took a long time to do as well. So let's get cracking. So during all this stuff, we fitted the V12 brakes to this as well. I've drove a couple of V12s, and I never thought the brakes felt wooden, but they do feel a little bit wooden on this. So these, I'm sure James had something to say about the ABS pump not fitting. Whether that else matters, I'm not sure. But yeah, where this ABS pump is disgusting to get to. But this now, it's pretty much only got the rear silencer, so the sound from this is mint. It's pretty sport. Just get straight at it because it's been warmed up. That's like quarter throttle. Sounds really good. You've got to bear in mind this is like, with me in it, knocking on 2.5 ton. So it's not the lightest of things. Super responsive still. Just like a little tip in and it just starts going. Definitely tell it's got a big turbo. Last time I drove it, it weren't in sport, and it slipped a little bit worse between gears. That don't feel too bad. gosh, this is it's faster than you need a 2-ton barge to be. Oh, nearly 2.5 ton. It don't feel far off as fast as the SQ7 and the SQ8s that we've been doing. Definitely different animal. They've got a lot of bottom end, not as much top end. This is all top. A bit of slipping. Punched. No doubt James is going to be happy with this. Sound, if anything, is the best thing. Sounds better than them silly speakers in the exhaust that you get on new stuff. This noise in a Audi R8. We're building a V12 Amarok that nobody wants, and not building a V8 diesel. Or V12. Everybody wants a V12 diesel R8, but that's just never going to happen. No matter how big your shoehorn is. Let's try it in manual. Yeah, so everything happens at sort of 2.5 grand, but it's not dead below that. In the lower gears it's worse than in the higher gears. Yeah, plenty of acceleration. And this is all on stock fuel system. We'd have definitely made more power with bigger injectors. The pump never looked like it was running out of puff. So we'll try, I don't know when this video is going out, but if James has this for a little while, if he can keep his foot out of it for a couple of weeks, we'll try and get some sort of real world economy figures. So everybody likes to know that. It says 16 at minute, but that's just been battered up and down all over the place. Been ticking over a long time as well, but feels really good. Like, I'm pretty sure if he's told his missus that we're just rebuilding the original engine, not tuning it, she might never know if she didn't put her foot all the way down. Hopefully she didn't watch the video either, but I'm not sure on James's domestic arrangements, but that wouldn't be the craziest thing I've heard a customer say. But yeah, it's been a long time coming. Nice Christmas present for James. Definitely getting it before then. He's coming for it tomorrow. And yeah, can't believe how long we've had it. We've never had a car this long. Even when we've been scratching his heads with a problem, we've never had them this long. So, yeah, not the usual thing. I'm sure if the parts are available, they're going to be listed on our website. If you're liking these sort of videos coming back, Danny's trying to do more of them. But we've just been that busy with other stuff. But now racing's out of the way. Get them race cars out of the way and some proper projects can happen, because I know a lot of people don't like the race stuff.